Boris Johnson has been urged to act quickly and pass a new law to cement Scotland's place in the UK before it's too late as the SNP and Nicola Sturgeon ramp up their campaign for a second referendum on Scottish independence. Scotland voted by a margin of 55% to 45% against independence during the historic referendum of 2014. Ms. Sturgeon soon replaced Alex Salmond as First Minister and quickly made it one of her top priorities to force a second vote on Scotland splitting from the rest of the UK. She has suggested the SNP could press ahead with its independence plans further should the party achieve a majority in the Scottish election on May 6. Mr. Johnson has slapped down all pressure from the SNP and the First Minister to hold a second referendum on Scottish independence, insisting the first vote nearly 7 years ago was a once-in-a-generation event. But the emergence of the ALBA party, headed by Mr. Salmond, who fronted the SNP's independence push in 2014, could create another huge headache for the Prime Minister in his bid to prevent a second referendum. Now Alliance for Unity leader George Galloway, a hugely vocal critic of the SNP and their fight for Scottish independence, has warned Mr. Johnson must spring into action to prevent the breakup of the UK. He told Express.co.uk, the British government better act quickly to pass a Clarity Act which cements Scotland in the Union. I would not, myself, trust the judges to stand up for Britain. The British Parliament has to stand up for Britain. We need a new law. Alliance for Unity is pressing for a Canada-style Clarity Act that would detail the conditions for any new independence referendum. This would include a provision that a majority of all adults, not just people who decide to vote, would first have to elect pro-independence parties. The warning from Mr. Galloway comes after Mr. Salmond said the Scottish Parliament could take legal action domestically and internationally if the UK government does not grant another independence referendum. The former First Minister's new ALBA party wants to create a supermajority in Holyrood following the Scottish election in 2 months' time. Mr. Salmond said by doing so, it would put more pressure on Prime Minister Mr. Johnson to allow another vote. When asked what options were available if Mr. Johnson continues to turn down the referendum he and Ms. Sturgeon are calling for, Mr. Salmond replied, the idea of a plebiscite is open. I proposed that back in 2011-12 and that was very much an option for us then if David Cameron had not agreed to a Section 30. You can then point to domestic legal action, international legal action, international pressure, diplomatic pressure and we believe in popular and peaceful demonstration. We must cast this debate as a Tory Prime Minister against a Scottish Parliament and a Scottish nation. The whole community of the realm of Scotland, if I can use a phrase from history. Mr. Salmond also said talks on Scottish independence should begin in week 1 of the next Holyrood term if there is a pro-independence supermajority in Holyrood. He expects the UK government to stand firm, even in the event of an SNP election win, but predicted this resistance would crumble if enough pro-independence MSPs were returned.